Let me tell you a story. The story of the busiest 2 weeks of my life. Riding through India, covering 4 states and 3,000 kilometers. But this isn't a story of statistics, and it's not a story of highways and hotel rooms. This is a story of an enlightening experience, seeing a side of life I never knew existed.
I hate long intros, so let's just get started.
I have practically zero experience with big cruisers, so when I got an email asking me to be a part of a ride going across India, riding a big cruiser motorcycle, I obviously said yes, because that is how I experience new things and improve my riding. Of course, I asked for their smallest and lightest motorcycle with saddlebags. Enter Rocket Ship, aka the Scout. At 250 kilograms, it isn't exactly small and light, but compared to the rest of the lineup, this thing is tiny. And it would prove eventually that it's the most nimble and fast bike that is able to keep up with the rest of the big boys. Mine came fully modded with a large windshield, footboard, and leather finished hard saddlebags that looked amazing with this motorcycle. I already had it for a couple of days to get acquainted with it, riding around in Gurgaon before we hit the big highways. Our hotel in Delhi was luxurious. After a quiet in-room dinner, we settled in early in the anticipation of the big ride next day. I guess this is the perfect time for me to explain you the plan. The Golden Quadrilateral is a dream project of our late Prime Minister, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, that connects 4 major cities of India.
Traveling from Gurgaon to back to Gurgaon. Gurgaon, Mumbai, Bangalore, Kolkata.
Doing events for charity to provide funding for the NGOs who have done a great job for girl child education. Riding and doing something good for the society seemed like a win-win situation.
It's 6 a.m. We're late. We're supposed to start maybe 1 hour back and we didn't. All the bikes are here though, still don't have fuel, so people will go up to fuel. And other bikers are riding as well. That's a ZX14R that you can hear right behind us. So we'll get some fuel and then it's ready to roll. Early morning was a huge issue, but everything's sorted now and we should just focus on the ride. The bike's handling better today because the handlebar's been adjusted and we're fully fueled up, so I think that makes the front heavier. First stop for breakfast.
The first day's ride was to Jodhpur, roughly a distance of 700 kilometers, and it was going to be a long day. The riders prepared for it with a long breakfast. After all, it is the most important meal of the day.
Breakfast scene's going on, everybody's busy eating. I'm already done, I've done some B-roll. So just eager to ride, I just don't like wasting too much time in the stopovers. I'm just waiting for them to finish up and then we'll back to the riding.
The second stop of the day was Jaipur. Apart from Indian motorcycle riders, a lot of others were supposed to join us to support the cause. 80 kilometers away from the breakfast area, I came up to this crossroad. The decision was either to go via the Jaipur bypass or via the Jaipur city itself. Now coming to Rajasthan and not visit the city of Jaipur, it didn't make much sense to me. So we decided to go through the city, and right on our way we found an antique shop. After checking out all of the goods that were on display and a few chilled drinks, we decided to step back into the highway. Jaipur looks like a quiet, old historic town in the periphery but as you move closer to the core of the city, it's utter chaos.
I've always wanted to see the pink city. And why is it called the pink city? I do see a lot of pink buildings, not horribly pink, but see the pink pillar, the pink walls, light pink, another pink building. I guess they do have a point of calling this a pink city. And I got the red light looking at so much pink.
I live in a big city, so I'm no stranger to this, but smaller towns in my experience have far more chaotic traffic conditions. By the time we finally made it to the Riders Connect, it was almost over and it was time to leave.
Kind of stuck in the sun, the Ducati guys, the BMW guys, the Triumph Daytona.
And we were back on the highway with more motorcyclists all surrounding us. The sun was getting harsh by the hour and we were starting to feel the meaning of the word desert, and yet we were still hundreds of kilometers away from the destination. My idea was to ride straight through and make it by evening just at the sunset. We were doing fine at 120 kilometers on a beautiful open road, but then people got hungry. The dhaba took hours to prepare the food and we lost a lot of daylight. The highways were calling and there was still 350 kilometers to go, and there I was, sitting inside a dhaba eating rotis. Finally the bikers left at almost sunset, and traditionally that looks like a perfect end scene for a day in a film. But this isn't a fictional film, it's reality. And up ahead we found the most beautiful highway of the entire trip, the Pali Jodhpur highway. Honestly, I never thought I would find such beauty here. It reminded me of the Leh Manali highway, and with such scenic backgrounds, we just had to stop for photos.
Final stretch today, 80 kilometers to go to Pali, and maybe another 50 after that.
It had been more than 12 hours since we had started. I had adjusted well with the motorcycle, but I was tired, and since we were riding solo, the GPS on Sumit's phone was our only hope of reaching the hotel.
Fun and games are over. It's too dark, no more content to shoot, we've got enough shots, but it got us terribly late. This is when the experience kicks in. This is when you know how to keep your calm and just hold that throttle. So, interesting situation. We've got 4% charge left on the phone, and we've got 7 minutes to go before we reach the hotel. It's like, oh yeah, we got it. So with 4% charge, we've managed to arrive. हाँ पता नहीं भैया, रिजर्वेशन है लेकिन रूम नंबर पता नहीं है। करवाना है, किया हुआ है, पूरा इवेंट है ना, टीम आया हुआ है। इंडियन मोटरसाइकिल पोलरिस का है। एटाई तो man, this hotel, it's so luxurious.
When we finally made it to the hotel, it was kind of dark and creepy. Also, none of the other bikers had arrived, and who were hours ahead of us.
Rahul Majumdar.
We checked into our hotel room and realized that the luggage with our fresh clothes also hadn't arrived yet. Finally, the rest of the squad arrived an hour later, and they had taken a wrong turn and faced some vicious off-road conditions.
How was the experience?
Experience is too good. Puppy experience.
It was time for the group dinner and for some well-deserved rest for the next day.
This view is so nice. It's amazing. The birds are all chiming all around. It's a beautiful morning. Nice to be up. I've been up since 5 and now it's 6 o'clock. I've had a nice soak in the tub for an hour. And now we're heading over to the breakfast area. Good morning. Food in this hotel is pretty nice, and we're about 6:37 a.m. right now. Running a bit late, but I'm not that worried because today is only 400 kilometers. We'll finish up breakfast, get all the cards which are copying the footage into the laptop, and then we're off to Jaisalmer.
It was time to leave. Like the previous morning, there was some drama with the luggage. The car drivers were refusing to take it. Our manager, Mr. Rajesh Bishnoi, managed it well, but by the time all the other bikers had left, and it was only me and Zohair who were left back, we decided to ride together and catch up with the gang, as they usually took long stops and it wouldn't be so tough to catch up to them.
Google being not nice. Hello, Mr. Cow. Miss Cow. Mrs. Cow. She's not interested. Is that a cow? Or is that a bull? Looks like a cow. Well, when Google fails, locals deliver. Alright, so apparently they said go the Google way. So we're doing the same thing again. I think these are stone quarries because a lot of stone that we've used in our buildings comes from Rajasthan, and yes, that's it. This is a stone quarry. Those guys are loading up the stones, so there is a quarry mine right beneath it. I think you can see some of it. So this is where they mine the stones, and not exactly mine it, but they collect it because it's at the ground level, and then they take these large blocks of stone. Crash, 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 crash. না না আমি আটকে আছি বাইকের তলে call him there's nothing. I mean, that cow just I am fine. नहीं लगे नहीं ठीक है नहीं सही है এই এটা নাও তো ও গাড়িটা একটু তুলিয়ে নি ওটাকে ছাড়ো ধরো गियर नहीं है एक सेकंड गिर रहा है गिर रहा है अरे गिर रहा है नहीं गियर नहीं लगा हुआ है थोड़ा तो नहीं, लेकिन पैर कहाँ रखेंगे? पैर रखने का जगह नहीं है। ये थोड़ा हाँ।
The way locals helped after the crash was immense. My leg was crushed under the bike, but thanks to my Dainese boot, I never felt a thing. My crash bar protector had bent and was making the footboard angle upwards, so there was no room for me to shift gears. They pulled the thick metal bar and made it possible for me to ride again.
Pokhran is just 150 kilometers from here. Incidentally, We're on a golden quadrilateral ride, a dream project by the late Prime Minister A.B. Vajpayee, and Pokhran was also one of his dream projects, both of which he executed actually. It was India's nuclear test site. They did 2 tests here, and when they gathered enough data, they cancelled the 3rd test because even they knew the environmental hazard. It's only that we have some hostile neighboring countries, so India needed that power for peace and prosperity, not for actual usage. Story of Pokhran. And camels. The trademark of Rajasthan just arrived.
Zohair wanted to pull ahead and catch up with the other riders, but I wanted to take it a bit easy after the crash, so we let him go, and I kept cruising solo through the desert. The Jodhpur to Jaisalmer highway gives you the feeling that it truly belongs to you. There is hardly any traffic and the road conditions are perfect and visibility is clear for miles and miles ahead. 500 kilometers on this road feels more like a 300. We had lost enough time and I wasn't in the mood to stop, but my cinematographer was feeling saddle sore, so we decided to stop at a dhaba for a little break.
Covered 100 kilometers since the crash. I think I have some cuts here. I don't know. It's just a little bruise. It's fine, just burning a little bit. Highway's been great. We're doing 120 kilometers per hour. That's the speed that I'm maintaining. Sometimes dropping down, so average speed's been constantly 100. Stopped over here because Shumit was feeling kind of, saddle sore. That happens with the smaller pillion seats, but we still have 150 kilometers to go. The heat's rising. This is Rajasthan. Lots of camels, lots of cattle. Don't want to hit that anymore. So we're here in one of the traditional dhabas. We have all the cooking going on and nice place to hang out. Even got beds if anybody's feeling like sleeping. So I'll get a quick nap and then we'll ride.
It turned out to be an hour-long break because once you're inside, you really don't want to go back into the scorching sun outside. By the time we were back on the highway, I was already very impatient and wanted to ride non-stop to reach the hotel.
In the midst of all places, I never expected the Rajasthan highway to have so many animals. I mean, it's a desert. What food do they eat? There are no lawns, a few trees. They don't look very tasty to me. It seems like there is a lot of cows.
Oh, and my GoPro fell off. I guess it had come loose during the morning crash. But without further incident, we reached the hotel quite in time and just 5 minutes after the rest of the group to a grand welcome. The hotel was extremely nice and all, but I just wanted to find a nice, clean bed. We were so tired after the ride, we were sleeping, and there was this knock on the door, and there was this beautiful girl, and she had some packages for me. So I just don't know what's inside the box, so let's check it out. It seems like we received some t-shirts. These are the beautiful Indian motorcycle t-shirts. Start off in the right way. She's the girl who gave me the t-shirt and I was like half asleep. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Number 103.
Right, exactly. What's your name?
Muskan.
Okay, you're working with Indian motorcycles or?
With the hotline.
Okay.
So you're making the vlog?
Yeah, actually we're making a short film, but we're mixing some vlog bits with it.
Okay.
So yeah, you go ahead. Rahul, by the way. Oh, you already know,
Muskan.
probably. At this point, two questions should come to your mind. If we are riding the Golden Quadrilateral, then what are we doing in Jaisalmer, which is basically hundreds of kilometers off course? And what about the parties at a charity ride? The simple explanation to that is our ride took a small detour to join Indian Motorcycle Owners Group get-together party. Our GQ riders, along with Indian Motorcycles India, wanted to promote the cause to other riders as well. And they successfully did that and raised a lot of money from this party itself, which was then donated to the schools all along our ride. So they practically converted an entertainment party into a charity fundraiser and even got celebrity endorsement from Rohit Roy and other local social influencers.
Rahul, you'll have to leave your camera and be here part of the game.
So while the crowd partied late into the night, they also made considerable contributions to our cause, and we settled in for the next day's charity event and the big surprise, the Jaisalmer Army Museum.